Do I seem the same to you?
When they get back, they go crazy.
This isn't madness!
This is one trippy space adventure. We follow astronaut Jo Ericsson, who's on the International Space Station. When things go sideways, the station gets hit by something, and there's a dead cosmonaut in a super old spacesuit involved. Most of the crew escapes, but Jo stays behind to fix things. That's when things get even weirder. She starts hallucinating. Time jumps around, and there's a whole other version of her daughter, Alice, involved. Back on Earth, everyone thinks Jo is crazy, except for her actual daughter, who's also experiencing strange things. It turns out there's this whole conspiracy about astronaut deaths being covered up, and a mysterious experiment called Cal that might be opening portals to other universes. Jo and Alice are on the run, trying to figure out what's real, and how to get back to their own world. There's a whole lot of twists and turns, people from different realities switching places, and a hidden facility for messed up astronauts. In the end, Jo sacrifices her own happiness to protect her daughter, and the truth about what happened in space might stay hidden forever. But hey, at least Paul, another astronaut who went through something similar, is alive in his own reality.
But things are different. I have a piano in my house.
I miss you so much.
I miss you too, Mama. Will you be careful out there?
Jo's Schrodinger's cat situation. The last scene shows Jo, previously left for dead in space, somehow alive, but still injured. It's unclear how she survived. This twist might be explained by the show's concept of quantum superposition, where a particle exists in two states simultaneously. Jo could be in a liminal state, both dead and alive, similar to the dead cosmonaut Valia, who appears alive sometimes. Two Jo, two lives. There are now two Jo. The dead one in space, and the one living on Earth with a different version of her family. The alive Jo struggles to fit in and tries to contact her real daughter from the other universe. Irena, initially skeptical, tries to convince Jo to accept this new reality, even resorting to shock therapy. Irena's shift and the bigger picture. Irena eventually has a heart-to-heart with Jo, urging her to move on for her family's sake. However, Irena secretly emails other astronauts about strange experiences, hinting she might believe in alternate universes. An ultrasound shows a weird image of Jo's fetus, further fueling her doubts. Irena interacts with Bud, mistaking him for Henry, and seems to accept the existence of parallel universes. Bud versus Henry. A tale of two astronauts. Both Bud and Henry went on the Apollo 18 mission in their own universes. Bud's mission was successful, while Henry's resulted in deaths. Somehow, they swapped universes. Bud ended up with the consequences of Henry's failed mission, and grew bitter. Henry became a hero, enjoying the rewards of Bud's success. Revenge and repercussions. Bud gets another chance, and ends up in his original universe, seeking revenge on Henry. He destroys the Cal machine to prevent further universe hopping. Back in his own world, Henry gets blamed for a crime Bud committed. A DNA test reveals a shocking truth. Bud and Henry have the same DNA, despite their different personalities. This raises questions about nature versus nurture, and the complex nature of identity. Looking ahead, a season cliffhanger. Season 1 leaves plenty of room for future exploration. The liminal Jo might try to contact her daughter, potentially causing more chaos. Bud and Henry could try to swap universes again, although Henry's situation makes it difficult. Paul, also alive in his own universe, might try to recreate the Cal to return. Irena's research on the phenomenon could lead to new discoveries. This breakdown keeps the details and chronology of the original text, while presenting it in a more conversational and engaging way. Or Undead Jo. The ending of Constellation's episode, "These fragments I have shored against my ruin," throws a major curveball at viewers regarding astronaut Jo Ericsson. We see Jo gazing out at Earth from the ISS, seemingly alive. But is it a flashback? Or is Jo somehow still up there? The answer gets even weirder. Jo's corpse comes alive, sort of. In the final scene, Jo's mangled body on the ISS twitches and grabs a floating tablet. A voice recording plays, with Jo speaking Swedish to her daughter Alice. This is odd, because the real Jo who returned to Earth speaks English to Alice. So what's going on? There are a few possibilities. Dead Jo, trapped voice. Maybe this Jo is just a corpse, and the voice doesn't belong to her. She could be stuck in some alternate space station, haunted by a recording of a living Jo. Zombie Jo. Maybe Jo is alive in some way, but not fully. She has some consciousness and can move, but not enough to communicate clearly. Is Jo connected to the real Jo? The episode doesn't say if this zombie Jo can contact the Jo who's back on Earth. We know other characters like Henry and Bud could communicate across realities, and Paul woke up disoriented, hinting at a possible mind-body disconnect. Is Jo a ghost like Valia? Maybe Jo is stuck in a state similar to the dead cosmonaut Valia, who appeared to be alive and dead at different times. The big question: is Jo alive? The episode leaves this open-ended. Jo shows some signs of life, but it's unclear what that means. Are we looking at a zombie astronaut, a trapped consciousness, or something else entirely? We'll have to wait for Season 2 to find out for sure. My review: the show's greatest strength lies in its intriguing premise. From the opening moments, viewers are thrust into Jo's world, a world shrouded in confusion and fear. Rapace delivers a captivating performance as the troubled astronaut, perfectly capturing Jo's descent into paranoia and desperation. The supporting cast, including Jonathan Banks as a mysterious physicist, adds further depth to the narrative. A show that keeps you guessing. Constellation masterfully utilizes suspense to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. The show's unsettling atmosphere and creepy elements create a sense of unease that lingers long after the credits roll. However, unlike traditional horror, Constellation relies more on psychological manipulation than jump scares. The true terror lies in the unknown, in the unsettling feeling that something is deeply wrong with Jo's reality. A slow burn with uneven pacing. While the initial mystery is captivating, Constellation's biggest hurdle is its pacing. The first 3 episodes spend a significant amount of time laying the groundwork for the complex plot. This slow burn might not appeal to viewers who prefer fast-paced narratives. Additionally, the show's pacing suffers from inconsistencies, with bursts of excitement followed by stretches of slowness. A confusing narrative for patient viewers. Constellation's narrative structure is another element that might divide viewers. The story jumps timelines and employs doppelgangers, which can be disorienting. The show intentionally keeps viewers in the dark about what's happening, a strategy that can be frustrating for those who crave immediate answers. However, for patient viewers who enjoy piecing together puzzles, this ambiguity can be a rewarding aspect of the show. A show with potential, but not for everyone. Constellation has the potential to be a truly great science fiction show. The series boasts a captivating premise, stellar performances, and a suspenseful atmosphere. However, its slow pacing, confusing narrative, and lack of immediate clarity might not appeal to all viewers. Ultimately, Constellation is a show best suited for those who enjoy slow burn mysteries, with a strong central performance and a taste for the unsettling.
You need to help me. I need to go back to her.